Welcome, Hot Ice Thursday edition, Cinco de Mayo. Want to apologize a little bit. We promised the Cleminator last night on the Bonanza stream. He's got the Mets thing. We got to get Clem on Tuesdays. Is basically the way it goes. So we over delivered a little bit on Clem. Cinco de Mayo, very festive shirt. Ev was already kind of breaking balls. He's not in the office, which is now he knows he's got to do a little dig. Carl's coming right from the airport with his tryout from the Cincinnati Reds. I guess we could open there, Carl. That's the narrative. I know you got things going on, but that's the narrative. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. How was the Reds tryout, bro? Are you going to get the pen?
Yeah, I had a good pen for the Reds. We'll say it was a promising first showing, and there should be some big news coming on Monday with that front, and I'm really pumped about it. And if you guys like professional baseball, you'll like what I'm doing with the Cincinnati Reds.
See, I love how I can twist the story to actually give Carl a promo without outing it. Like that's how in depth this joke is. That's where we're at. All right, Cinco de Mayo, Ev. You've been a little cold. We're gonna get you back. We gotta pump Ev up today.
A little. It was cold out of the gate. I mean, just out of the gate.
No, Carl, right before you hopped out in the back room, I was venting about just how disgustingly cold I've been.
He wants.
I've been just terrible. And I think I almost got cocky because baseball last year I fucking crushed it in 2021, and then this year it's been kicking the shit out of me the first month or so of the season.
He wants a forensic accountant. Maybe you could call your boys to go into his bets and show how many he's lost like by one run or in the ninth.
I'm telling you, half every one of them. Yeah, half by one run, especially the ones on this show. I think I've had 2 or 3 on here where I went 0-2, where both lost by one run.
Well, it's a game where don't let these ninth inning get to you guys, because this is where gambler's mentality. Just stay strong. You're reading it well. If you're losing them late, that means you're reading them well. Just stay. Sorry,
we're trying to stay the course. Blinders on. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough out here when you're just just catching blows just left and right. You don't know where it's coming from. I don't know which way's up and down. We're trying to figure shit out right now. We're working through.
You're right. No, it's a team game. We're all in the same lineup. We're gonna stick together. The other thing too, we're gonna hint at a little bit too, is it's not gonna be boosted, but we got to start doing a shareable bet slip of our 3 best bets parlayed, our 3 dogs parlayed. Like take a gander at those, and we'll start letting you know like where those pay out. So we'll get Ed. We're all gonna hit. It's a lineup game. Headline's a little light. I got 2 futures to look at in a little bit, but the big headline to me, obviously. Madison Bumgarner going at it with Dan Bellino, the umpire, right? Like he's chirping at him. He gives up a homer in the first. And then I was talking to Hubs a little about it. Like the way they check their hands, it's kind of like just shaking hands. It's almost like they just go through the motions. Like, so they looked at it and he did the thing where he's grilling him like this and he's waiting for him to look. And Bumgarner finally looks. The 2 of them go at it and it's a whole fucking explosion. So, Carl, you're obviously you've dealt with umpires like that, not like this, but I'll just give my thing real quick. And I know it doesn't relate like exactly, but I grew up in a house where my dad was always big on teaching us the rules. And when you check the box, like work at the snack stand, field crew, he was umpiring. And I'll never forget, it was my brother's like senior league game. They were like 12, and there was a guy who was the doctor who always thought he was a good umpire. And my brother's manager gets into it real quick, and after the inning, the guy walks down towards his thing to like reset in between innings. You know how you let the pitcher throw? He's standing in front of his dugout, basically like baiting him to say something. So I'll never forget, my dad leaves from where we're sitting, goes behind the plate because he's huge on umpire ethics and gets right in his ear. He's like, what'd you want? He's like, what'd you want him to say something? That's really unprofessional. He's like, that's how you carry yourself like with the mechanics. And the guy never turned around and knew like, oh shit, I got caught. But it took a baseball guy to know that. Bellino's in the wrong here. I've heard Bumgarner is a crazy person, but to me, like, he's like a little kid. Like, you're setting him up to explode. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't love what Bellino was doing here. Carl, I'll let you open it up. I'm obviously on Bumgarner's side here. I know he chirped and shit, but that's where I lie. I think the umpire knew what he was doing, knew he was going to bait him, and, like, at that point, what was Bumgarner supposed to do?
Shout out Shit Knuckles for the umpire ethics. I fucking love that story, dude. And I love the fact that, like, just having that type of influence around. I think Bumgarner is obviously a complete psychopath. And he has that reputation as just being somebody who, like, the relationship he has with these umpires is like, I'm the fucking player, dude. Like I'm the fucking and it's about as extreme as it can be out of any player in Major League Baseball. I'm not saying he's like there's other people who are like him, but Bumgarner's on the high level of like, yo, I'm the fucking guy on the mound holding the ball. I'm the one who can get in the box, even though I'm a fucking pitcher and still hit it 500 feet. Like, don't you fucking tell me. And that's kind of the relationship he has with the home plate umpire. He thinks they're being inconsistent and stuff, where it's like, yo, I'm out here fucking grinding. And he really carries that chip on his shoulder when he gets mad. It's not necessarily like you miss that pitch and I want to strike this guy out and it's all me, me, me. A lot of it is like Bumgarner's fucking working his dick off, especially now with this stuff, 88, 89, 91, like really not really reaching back with what he knows. And so it's just a guy who just gets pissed off like that. I really do think too, in the hand check thing, that's the culmination. And we only see that. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. That's the assassination in Sarajevo without really understanding the backstory to World War I. Like there's so much stuff that's got to be going on too. Because Bumgarner's been making enemies with umpires his whole fucking career. I mean, am I out of line here?
No, no. Maybe that was kind of one thing I thought, that I was like, maybe there's some history here, because it wasn't like, obviously you could point to a lot of things. Like obviously he's literally giving the guy a hand massage for 10 minutes. And not only is he looking at the guy, he's like mean mugging Bumgarner. Like it's not like he's just casually sitting there just looking at him while he's playing with his hand, doing a little routine check. He's sitting there grilling him like he's giving him like, you got a problem look. Where Rico said too, and you said like he baited him like 100%. He knows the guy's high strung. Everyone that watches baseball for a little bit, that. I mean, he clearly baited him into it. He knew he would get a little chippy with him, and the second he got chippy, he tossed him. It was total like he set him up 100%.
Yeah. Do you like the umpire standing up for his other umpires though? It seems like the umpire crew sticks together. Like he was jazzing the home plate umpire, so the first base umpire comes over and gives him the business. Is there any silver lining where you're like, man, those umpires fucking ride or die together?
It definitely happens when you ref. I could tell you that. When you give the warning or you're having problems, my partner is supposed to tech the guy. Because as soon as now, like you got to take a little of the blame off. Umpires, yeah, it does seem like the famous clip with Terry Collins, doesn't the other guy come back at him and is like, they put our ass in the jackpot? He's screaming at him like, so yeah, they obviously stick together. I would agree with that.
Yeah, you have to. You kind of have to. It's almost like even when you know the guy's in the wrong, you almost kind of have to. You can't leave the guy out to dry, because I think you gotta like listen. You're up in games, like you're dealing with players every day, or however much you umpire. The other umpire is gonna look at you like, look at this asshole. Like if I get into something with a player, he's gonna leave me out to dry. You work with these guys. I don't know how it exactly works, if they're with the same crew all year, if they're like switching crews like. I don't know exactly how all that works.
I think it's the same crew, right?
Same crews, yeah.
So even more so, you got to have your guys back. If you're working with the same crew regularly, you can't just leave the guy out to dry. He's not going to trust it.
Maybe it's not the same crew. I don't know. I got to look in it. That's a good question.
I thought it was the same crews, pretty much, but I don't know. Maybe they mix them up. I lose track. Boone got tossed last night real quick. That was justified. And I'll say this. I don't know the umpire's name, the home plate umpire. But once he started yelling back at Boone, he showed he was wrong. You know what I mean? Like he showed he was guilty and he was off. When you're in an argument and you're right, you're supposed to just take it, let Boone be, as an official at least, let Boone be like screaming, yelling, like over the top, and now everybody could be like, all right, well, look at Boone, he's acting like an asshole. This guy goes right back at him. Now he already had tossed him. So I guess he wanted to get his money's worth, but I thought the umpire showed his hand. And if you watch the pitches, Ev, I know you were watching Yankee game live, 4 pitches, we were doing the stream at Hubs, not one of them a strike. Not one. And then he finally strikes out on one like that, the guy fooled him and got him late. But Boone, he got out, he took the thing out of his mouth, like threw it at him. Like he was getting run early. So justified for Boone. It was a very funny clip. Did you happen to catch that one, Carl?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I just feel like, and I feel like Boone's taking this evolution where it's like he's just getting shit on so much by Yankee fans. It's just like, you know what? You guys want to fucking jag off? I'll give you a fucking, like, you want a cocksucker? Like, this is the product of managing in New York and just like being a nice guy and just taking it on the chin. Like, that was a snap for everybody last night. It was great. And the umpires in the strike zone and all this stuff, like, we gotta get this all figured out. We're gonna be making big fucking deal. If it's fucking late July and it's just gonna be the same thing. I mean, it's a lot, dude, and the umpires are only getting more sensitive. So I imagine the strike zone robots are coming at some point. That's a different headline.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw this one. I feel like I don't know if it's this year. I feel like the first month of the season. I feel like the strike zone's been more inconsistent than it ever has. I don't know if it's like recency bias just because we're dealing with it right now. I don't know if you guys saw one even that might even I'll even admit might even been worse than the Yankees one. Maybe I believe it was Ozuna yesterday. It was a Brave. There literally was 3 pitches in a row. Outside. Called them all 3. 1, 2, 3 out. Not one of them was a strike.
But at some point, it's like if you saw the first one, then the second one, come the third one. But I do, yeah. The fact we watch it with the box now, like I don't need that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
It
was just egregious. Like all 3 were like they were like touching the line of this batter's box, like outside. It was crazy. But honestly, and just going back, just quick touch on the Boone thing. It's funny because we really do give him so much shit, but he's like. Every one of these, he like the fucking savages in the box, and then now this one, he just plucks at my heartstrings just a little bit. I'm like, you know what, Boone? Like maybe you aren't a fucking chicken shit. Maybe you got a little something in there. Show me a little fire every now and then. And the team's falling. Obviously, we lose last night, but been on a nice run.
I'm convinced he wears like a disguise and goes out on Arthur Avenue and Highland Boulevard and Bensonhurst and like figures out like how can I assimilate with these Yankee Goombas? Like he gets
just go yell at an umpire. We love that shit.
Yeah, like he's in a barbershop or he's getting a fucking semolina roll and somebody's like, you know what I want Boone to do? Yell at these umps a little more. And he's like, all right, file it down. Like that's great. Speaking of the Yankees, I think Brandon kind of alerted me to it. I think it's worth a stab. Just 2 futures. I got Aaron Judge to win the MVP at 12-1. I think is worth taking a look at. And AL Rookie of the Year Joe Ryan 8-1. I backed him the other day. He's got a 3-1 record, 1.63 ERA, 27 2/3 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts with a 0.83 WHIP. So, and we talked about the AL Central being bad. Like if Joe Ryan is turning into an ace in that rotation and carries them towards the division into late August, September. Where they're in the race, is Joe Ryan worth looking at?
Fuck yeah. Joe Ryan's a stud, dude. Joe Ryan's got pitchability. Joe Ryan works the fucking zone. Maybe he doesn't get a ton of swing and misses like inside the strike zone, but he certainly knows how to move the fucking ball around. And people have said that Minnesota is a huge it's an easy ballpark to hit at. I think I'm pretty sure it's like 18th or 19th. It's below average. I like the guy. He's aggressive. He's got a good pitch mix. Very good. I like, man, did you see him wear the turtleneck with no sleeves?
No, I didn't. I'll be honest.
Because he said he doesn't like having sleeves on his arms when he pitches because he likes to keep the arms fucked, but he needs to keep the core tight. Dude, he looked like, I swear to God, he looked like a backup dancer from like a Vanilla Ice music video. It was unbelievable.
I was gonna give you this. He looks like what is it, Uncle Eddie in
Yes.
In Christmas Vacation with just the thing. Yeah, that's.
I like Judge him a lot.
No, that's good. I'll back it 8.5. Ev, Judge is your guy. 12-1. We rolling with that as well, or you worried about?
The guy. He's hot right now. He's got him and Rizzo are tied for the most home runs in baseball. I mean, Judge can be a guy who's a little streaky too, but I think he always is hit for average a little bit. Like I think people wouldn't realize how well he actually does hit for average. And obviously, he's got crazy power. I mean, he's hot. He bet on himself. He turned down a $200 million contract. I mean, the Yankees gonna have to pay up. I mean, I love to see it. I want him to hit. Like, listen, I'm not it always weirds me out when people are very I get it when there's salary caps. When no salary cap, it always is weird to me. Even when it's your team, when people are stingy with other people's money. I hope the Yankees give him $1 billion. I don't give a fuck. Give them all the money. Give them all the money, and then give other guys all the money, too. It's not my money. Hal Steinbrenner has been a cheap prick. Give Judge all the money. I hope he hits 1,000 home runs, 1 billion RBIs.
Fuck it. Yeah. All right, dog of the day. I'm going to keep this simple.
I fucking love when Ev gets going like that, man. There's nothing better. I swear to fucking God. I love it. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm going to keep it hometown. The Mets crush Aaron Nola. I know Taijuan Walker is not a guy you can trust. The Mets crush Nola. I think this could be high scoring. They don't like the Phillies. There's bad blood. loss yesterday to the Braves kind of brings them back to the stratosphere after everyone's sucking their dicks with winning 2 in the doubleheader. Mets plus 133. Give it to me. Alonso, Nimmo, McNeil, they all hit them. Give me the Mets plus 133 here. I like it. I don't really see how it can go wrong. Ev, who are you chasing with a plus sign?
Rico, I'm on the Mets.
All right.
I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep like principle. They're a very good baseball team. I even think I got them live right or not. Well, they're on the sportsbook right now. I believe at plus 140, which I think
right,
they're
even
just
better.
Or 138 at this exact moment. But I like it as well. I mean, they said they've done very well against Nola in the past. I mean, there's a really good baseball team. I'm trying to hit singles here. I'm trying to get some plays through. I mean, you're going to give me close to plus 140 on a really good baseball team like this when against a guy who they hit well against. I'm taking every time.
Let's do it. Carl, who are you on?
I'm taking the Mariners at home. Robbie Ray plus 112 against the Rays in McClanahan. McClanahan struck out 11 over 5 innings against the Twins in his last start, and they lost. The big fucking trip from Tampa to Seattle it's a lot. And the Mariners are still a little bit undervalued. I think they're going a little bit. This could be dumb because McClanahan could honestly go out and throw a fucking no-hitter and strike out 18 tonight. That's how dominant his stuff is. But I just like the Mariners at home. I like the Mariners at home plus 112. I don't think you're going to get Robbie Ray plus 112 at home very often. So.
Yeah, I also don't really love what I've seen from the Rays, to be honest with you. Talk about a team like they'll be okay, but they're not doing so great right now. I don't love. I've gone against them a few times. I think once with the Mariners, or maybe the A's. Like they've given up tons of runs to the A's. Like I don't really love what I see out of the Rays. Best bet. I'm gonna roll with 2 here. Cinco de Mayo. It's a holiday. I'll give you some picks. Toronto minus 148. We talked about fading Cleveland. They got Berrios on the mound. I love the lineup. I just love what they got. They're a tough team. And then the Brewers over 4.5 runs is plus 102. I'm not laying juice. I'm getting it against the Reds. The Reds who give up touchdowns like fucking Kansas football. Give me fucking the Brewers over 4.5. I know, the runs are down, the ball's dead. Fuck it. If anyone's going to get 4.5 and I'm getting plus money, I'm not laying juice. Give me both of those. Ev, who are you rolling with best bet?
Oh, purposes. Buy stock in Kansas football, just for the record. They're going to stop giving up as many touchdowns. I like Leipold, but I hope I'm with Rico and the Mets. My best bet, I'm with Carl. I like the Mariners. Robbie,
right.
Robbie Ray plus literally everything Carl said. Robbie Ray at home plus money, very rare. Tampa making a long trip to the West Coast. I mean, like you said, McClanahan, very good pitcher, and I think the Rays long term figure it out. Like I think. When it's all said and done at the end of the season, they're minimum in the playoff mix, probably in the playoffs. But, I mean, give me Robbie Ray at home plus money. I mean, 112, give it to me, best bet.
Ev really grasping that thing where I said, hey, let's stick together. He's jumping right on the lifeboats. He's got my dog. He's got Carl's best bet. All right, man. We
all win together. We all win. Everybody.
There's room in the boat. When I said there's room in the boat, there's room in the boat. All right? Carl, who's your best bet?
So we do not share these picks before the show. That's a
it keeps it authentic. That's the way I wanted it. It keeps it authentic.
So the fact that Ev grasping here is with us that really is amazing. All right. I talked at the start of the show. I talked a lot about like momentum, finding names you may not know, undervalued stuff. And so I am like fucking maybe putting a very, very big bet on the Marlins tonight on Luzardo, the big fucking lefty who had just an atrocious 2021 season. And gets traded to the Marlins. This dude can fucking pitch, man. He's got 28 strikeouts in 20 innings so far. He's been very hard to hit. He's making his 5th start of the year. He's from the West Coast. They're going – so this is kind of against it where it's the Marlins. They're playing on the West Coast, but he's going back home. He's from around there. Maybe not San Diego, but that's his fucking time zone. I like Luzardo. I think this could be one of those spots where, like, we're talking about him a couple weeks from now. We're like, this guy's putting together a fucking season. So I'm just going to fucking take a risk that tonight's one of those nights where he has one of those games like, holy shit, I could be wrong, but we're riding with Luzardo.
I just looked it up. You probably saw a discoloration on the screen. The San Diego lineup does not have a lot of at-bats against Luzardo. I think that helps him maybe for the first stretch through, getting used to him, like gets me into the 3rd inning, hopefully with a 0 on the board. Miami sneaks one. I like that. Those big bats in San Diego, a little adjustment. Let's take. Plus, you talked about the Miami thing. Hopefully, they get there late last night. They go out. You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? Oh no, I'm sorry. Game's in San Diego. So
no, they're in San Diego. But
the
the nice thing is if you go out in California is not really one of those. You go out in Miami, you'd be out till fucking 8 a.m. You can't go out in San Diego past 11. They just shut the state down. Like you can, I guess, if you want to, right? These are big leaguers we're talking about. But just for the most part, the party culture is more just like, if those guys are smoking a little weed yesterday and relaxing, like, I don't fucking hate that. I certainly don't hate that. And again, they're an underrated team. We just think the Marlins, you just shit on the Marlins. They're sneaky good, the bullpen. They got talent on the mound. I think Luzardo, like I said, he's a talented guy.
Yeah. All right. So hit parade, we're still holding profits, but we need one. I'm going right back to the well here with the Mets. I'm going to go with Sterling Marte, a 333 average against Nola. I was going to go Nimmo. I'll be honest. I was going to go Nimmo. The guy walks too much, looks at too many pitches. I love that he does well against them. He hits them and he walks. He gets on base. Put Marte in the 2-hole. They have to pitch to him in that little bandbox. Give me one in the gap. Marte is one of my favorite Mets early on. I'm putting Marte in this hit parade. Carl, I think you have the same feeling of which way you're going to go.
Yeah, no, I'm taking Pete Alonso, and we talked about it we talked about the top of the show. I love that we all have a piece of this game now. The other thing is, I feel bad. I feel like we've lost the hit parade basically on my picks. Taylor Ward got robbed last one. It's just tough situation. I thought that was a good pick. I had Trout one time. Trout no hits, got on base 4 fucking times, scored 3 runs. Player of the game, like didn't even swing the bat. So we're gonna take it. Pete Alonso does well against Aaron Nola. The numbers look good. Big F, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm taking Machado. He's swinging a hot stick. He's batting like 380 or something like that. He's having like an MVP start of the season. That's been I know he's going against your guy, but one hit. We're looking for
guys
one
give
big
up
hit.
hits.
That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, guys can
we're
get a
looking
hit.
for one big hit. So
we'll take a hit. We'll not take a homer. It's not the homer parade. We'll take a hit. That's fine.
Yeah, he's having an unreal start to the season, like MVP caliber first like few weeks or so. He's got like 18 RBIs already. I think he's batting like 365, 380, something like that. He's hot right now. I'm taking Machado. Let's finish it up. Let's get one home, boys.
Yeah, let's bring one back. Extra innings. Anybody got anything as far as extra innings before we go? I know Cinco de Mayo. I'm looking at some. I'm craving the tacos. We got the horses. Maybe a derby pick.
Yeah, I think this Saturday, actually, boys, is considered one of the great sports days on the American calendar. And so if you guys I'd be interested to hear how you guys like to go about a day like this, or where your focus really is. I mean, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Kentucky Derby, MLB, big fight night.
Plus, you add in those events. Like I was actually looking at like a blog. Had a little bit of a draft of a blog. You start adding in like college graduation parties, communion parties. You start going to some communion party and you're like, who am I going to know? I hope there's a TV there. And you walk in and you got somebody's Uncle Joey or Uncle Sal or Uncle Danny being like, hey, you want a cigar? I love the fucking 12 horse. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, I'm in with my people now. You know what I mean? Like, give me a high noon. Oh, you like the 12. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, I got action on the fight. And like, it's like assimilating companies. Like you take the best vice president and the best marketing guy, and now you're just a fucking conglomerate. So it's also, to me, it is the kickoff of summer. Because I feel like now, especially when it's Cinco de Mayo, like starts getting hot. This is when you can you feel it. Like you feel it. It's just there. Everybody's in a better mood. It's kind of the way it goes. Ev, I know you're a huge guy. Like obviously, whatever you got, horse, NBA, but Canelo by knockout, like should we be looking at a round to get him on? Like what way are we going?
I like him in the later rounds. See, everyone's been talking about the Bibble guy. I was watching some of his fights this week. Listen, he's bigger for sure. He's much taller. Like Canelo's like 5'7.5". Bibble's like 6 foot 6'1". But he doesn't have a ton of experience. Like he's 19-0 with like 11 KOs. So he's not like a massive knockout artist. I was talking to Large about. There's a similar guy Canelo fought like a couple of years ago. I think like Kovalev or something his name is. Was a bigger guy. He had never been finished, like much taller, bigger guy. He was kind of like losing early on. Canelo ended up like just working him, knocking him out in the later rounds. Actually had like kind of a vicious knockout on him. I think Canelo like later rounds, it's probably some decent plus money. Maybe rounds like 7 to 12, you want to be safe, or you can go like 9 to 12, you want to get real dirty with it. But I like Canelo in the later rounds. Also, big UFC card as well, like massive, like 2 title fights. Probably title fight in maybe probably the most stacked division at 155. Oliveira Gaethje, like an absolute no-brainer fireworks fight. Gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna try to transition throughout the day. You like start the day with some baseball. You work your way through. Some NBA starts. You get some boxing going. Get the UFC under prelims going. Everything, you're just firing all cylinders. You got the Derby Sunday, correct?
No, Derby Saturday.
Is it Saturday? I don't know why.
Yes,
All right, so
and
you got the Derby in the middle of the day. You're working like you got some shit. Hope maybe you hit a horse. You want to go big on Canelo. Go crazy with it. DAZN.com/Barstool. DAZN.com/Barstool.
Oh,
Right,
unbelievable. Our guys are calling the whole card. Are you kidding me?
Literally ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Like, what?
Absolutely ridiculous.
We
This
shit
is the
on
best
baseball.
pound for pound fighter on planet Earth, people.
Yep. We shit on baseball so much. I'll give them credit. They did a good job to help us out. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games starting before 4:10 on Saturday. Like, get some games in. Let me watch the games during the day. Clear the way for the horses. Put on your nice shirt. Start riding the 8. Ride the 8 horse. And then we get the fight at night. Like, spread it out. I love it. Saturday is just I fucking love Saturday. I really hope it stays clean. It's like hot weather. It's the fucking best. One of the best weekends of the year. There's nothing better than looking at the Derby. And next year, obviously, I'm sending out to save the dates like very shortly. I'd be honored to have you both there. Next year. Marty laughs. It's 65% of the reason I bought a house was to host a Derby party every year.
I would love to come. I would absolutely love to come, and I'll be dressed for the day. I'll bring some stuff from JP Graziano.
All right, even better. So perfect. That is hot ice. We're gonna get you a price on the parlay hit parade. It's Marte, Alonzo, and Manny Machado. We're gonna get it done. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fight. Enjoy the horses. Enjoy the baseball. We'll be touching base tonight, complaining about umpires as it goes. We'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you very much.